students, welcome back again to our class. For today, we have lesson number 2, solving quadratic equation by extracting the roots. Our objectives to this topic is find the solutions of the quadratic equation by extracting square roots or square root property. This symbol is for square root, and this is called radical sign. Inside it is called the radicand. Let's find the roots of the following. Square root of 9. That is equal to positive negative 3 because 3 times 3 is equal to 9 and negative 3 times negative 3 is also equal to positive 9. Square root of 25. That is equal to positive negative 5 because positive 5 times positive 5 is equal to 25. Negative 5 times negative 5 is equal to 25 also. Square root of 121. That is equal to positive and negative 11 because 11 times 11 is equal to 121 and negative 11 times negative 11 is equal also to positive 121. Square root of 225. That is equal to positive and negative 15 because positive 15 times positive 15 is equal to positive 225. Negative 15 times negative 15 is equal also to positive 225. How about if we have a square root of 20? This time, 20 is not a perfect square or wala tayong makuha na number na pag minultiply sa sarili ay 20 ang lalabas. So, iisip tayo ng dalawang number na pag minultiply ay ang kalalabasan ay 20. First, si 1 at 20. Second, si 2 at 10. And then third, 4 and 5. Then, hahanapin natin sa kanila yung merong perfect square. Square root of 1, perfect square si 1, pero we need to find greater number than 1. So, square root of 20, so wala pa din. So, let's try 2, square root of 2. So, not a perfect square. Square root of 10, not a perfect square also. Square root of 4, okay. Square root of 4 is equal to positive and negative 2. Square root of 5, since wala na ring factor si 5, then mareretain siya sa loob ng square root sign. So, since nakita na natin na merong factor si 4, which is positive and negative 2, so ito ang ating gagamitin. So, for square root of 20, to simplify that, ang sagot ay positive negative 2 square root of 5. How about if we have square root of 75? 75 is also not a perfect square. So, we need to find the two factors of 75 na yung isa doon ay perfect square. Okay, 5 times 15, that is equal to 75. 3 times 25, that is equal to 75. And the last is 1 times 75, which is equal to 75. Okay, let's try square root of 5. Okay, wala siyang square root. Square root of 15, wala din. Square root of 3, wala. Square root of 25, okay. Square root of 25 is positive and negative 5. So, ito ang gagamitin natin. Okay, since walang square root si 3, so mareretain siya sa loob ng radical sign. So, ang magiging sagot natin to simplify square root of 75 ay positive negative 5 square root of 3. What is square root property? Square root property, if x squared is equal to n, then x is equal to the square root of n or x is equal to negative square root of n. X squared is called the quadratic term and n is called the constant term. In square root property, mapapansin ninyo na wala tayong linear term. Ang meron lang tayo dito ay quadratic term at constant term. Let's try to solve the equation. X squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Okay, babalik ulit tayo sa paghahanap ng value ni x. Since quadratic term to, kailangan natin makakuha ng dalawang value ni x. First, we have x squared minus 9. Then, we need to think of a number that we need to add on both sides to eliminate negative 9. So, we need to add positive 9 on both sides so that negative 9 plus 9 will become 0. So, ang matitira na lang is x squared equal to 9. Tandaan, kung ano ang inad natin sa kaliwang bahagi o kanang bahagi ng ating equation, dapat gagamitin din natin yon or gagawin din natin yon sa kabila. Then, since x squared na lang ang natira dito, then we can apply the square root property. So, we need to square both sides. Square root of x squared will be x, and square root of 9 is equal to positive negative 3. Because 3 times 3 is equal to 9, negative 3 times negative 3 is equal also to positive 9. For checking, let's try muna yung positive 3. To check this one, gagamitin natin yung original equation na given sa ating example, which is x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Isa-substitute natin ang nakuha nating x doon sa x sa equation. So, since x squared yon, it will become 3 squared. So, 3 squared minus 9 is equal to 0. And 3 squared is equal to 9. So, 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. 9 minus 9 is also equal to 0. That means, since equal yung nasa dulo natin, which is 0 equal to 0, ibig sabihin, tama tong positive 3 natin. How about if we have the negative 3? So, substitute lang ulit natin yung negative 3 sa original equation. So, magiging negative 3 squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Then, negative 3 squared is equal to 9. So, we have 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. And 9 minus 9 is also equal to 0. Okay, since equal ulit dito, 0 is equal to 0, ibig sabihin, negative 3 is also correct. Since tama ang checking natin, we can conclude that the roots of x squared minus 9 is equal to 0 are positive and negative 3. Let's try another example. X squared minus 14 is equal to 0. Okay? Using again addition property of equality, to eliminate negative 14, we need to add 14 on both sides. So, we'll have x squared minus 14 plus 14 is equal to 0 plus 14. So, negative 14 plus 14 is equal to 0. So, ang kalalabasan na ng ating equation will be x squared is equal to 14. This time, since x squared na lang ang natira sa kaliwang bahagi ng ating equation, then we can apply the square root property. So, we have square root of x squared is equal to the square root of 14. So, that will be x is equal to positive negative square root of 14. Bakit na-retain sa loob si square root of 14? Since 14 is not a perfect square, pangalawa, walang factor si 14 na mayroong perfect square. Kaya, yung buong 14 ay matitira sa loob ng radical sign. Let's try checking. First, we have the positive square root of 14. Ipapalit natin siya doon sa ating original equation. So, ang kalalabasan niya is square root of 14 is squared minus 14 is equal to 0. Alam naman natin na ang square root of 14 is squared will be 14. So, 14 minus 14 equal to 0. Last, 14 minus 14, and that is equal to 0. Since equal yung nasa dulo natin, which is 0 equal to 0, then positive 14 is correct. How about if we have x is equal to negative 14? Again, isubstitute natin ang negative 14 sa ating x sa original equation. So, negative square root of 14 squared minus 14. That will be 14 minus 14, and that is 0. So, 0 is equal to 0. That means negative square root of 14 is correct. Since tama yung positive at negative square root of 14 natin, we can conclude that the solution for x squared minus 14 is equal to 0 ay positive at negative square root of 14. How about if we have x squared minus 8 is equal to 0? Again, let's eliminate negative 8 by adding 8 on both sides using addition property of equality. So, negative 8 plus 8, that will become 0. So, ang matitira na lang sa atin ay x squared is equal to 8. Then again, let's square both sides. So, square root of x squared will be x. And then, square root of 8, since 8 is not a perfect square, let's find the factor of 8. So, ang factor niya ay 4 at 2. So, we have x is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. Square root of 4 is equal to positive and negative 2. While square root of 2, since wala na siyang factor at 2 is not a perfect square, so mararetain siya sa loob ng radical sign. So, for this equation, x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. The solution for that is positive and negative 2 square root of 2. Okay? It's up to you if you will do the checking. Checking is used to determine if your answer is correct. Next, solve the equation. 2x squared minus 72 is equal to 0. Okay? I-eliminate muna natin si negative 72 using addition property of equality. So, mag-a-add tayo ng 72 sa kanan at kaliwang bahagi ng ating equation. So, negative 72 plus 72, that will be 0. So, ang matitira na lang ay 2x squared is equal to 72. This time, mapapansin ninyo, may kasama ng 2 si x squared. We need to eliminate first the 2. So, para ma-eliminate yon, we need to divide 2 on both sides. So, this will be 2 divided by 2. So, ang matitira na lang dyan ay x squared. Dito naman, 72 divided by 2, ang matitira dito ay 36. Then, let's square both sides since wala nang kasama si x squared. Square root of x squared will be x, and square root of 36 will be positive and negative 6. So, this will be the solution for 2x squared minus 72 is equal to 0. Number 5, we have x minus 5 squared is equal to 1. Okay? Dito pa lang sa equation na to, pwede na nating i-apply sa square root property. So, square root of x minus 5 is squared is equal to x minus 5. On the other side, square root of 1, that will be positive and negative 1. Okay? So, dito, hindi pa to ang pwede nating maging sagot kasi may kasama pa si x sa kaliwang bahagi. So, kailangan nating ma-eliminate si negative 5. So, paghiwalayin muna natin yung ating nakuhang equation. So, unahin natin yung positive 1. So, x minus 5 is equal to 1. To eliminate 5, we need to add 5 on both sides using addition property of equality. So, negative 5 plus 5, that will become 0. So, ang matitira na dyan is x is equal to 6 because 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. Doon naman tayo sa negative 1. So, x minus 5 is equal to negative 1. Same process, let's eliminate negative 5 by adding 5 on both sides. So, negative 5 plus 5, that will become 0. Then, negative 1 plus 5, that will become positive 4. So, for the solutions of x minus 5 squared is equal to 1, we have 6 and 4. Next, 2 times x plus 3 squared is equal to 32. Since may kasama pa itong naka-squared natin, which is 2 or nasa labas ng parenthesis, we need to eliminate 2 by dividing both sides into 2. So, para maging 1 na to, kasi 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So, ang matitira dito is x plus 3 squared. Dito naman, 32 divided by 2, ang kalalabasan ay 16. Ngayon, pwede na natin gamitin si square root property. Square root of x plus 3 squared is equal to square root of 16. Ang square root ng x plus 3 squared is equal to x plus 3. At ang square root ng 16 ay equal to positive and negative 4. Paghiwalayin muna natin yung positive at negative 4 to solve for x. Una, gamitin natin yung positive 4. So, x plus 3 is equal to 4. Again, let's eliminate 3 by subtracting 3 on both sides. So, 3 minus 3, that will become 0. 4 minus 3, that will become 1. So, our x here is 1. For the negative 4, we have x plus 3 is equal to negative 4. Again, let's eliminate 3 by subtracting 3 on both sides. So, 3 minus 3, that will become 0. And x is equal to negative 7 because negative 4 minus 3, they have the same sign, so you need to add them. 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Then copy their common sign, which is negative. So, that means the solutions are 1 and negative 7. So, always remember this. Square root property states that if x squared is equal to n, then x is equal to the square root of n, or x is equal to negative square root of n. And remember this one. Every quadratic equation in one variable has exactly 2 solutions or roots. I hope you learned something today. Thank you for listening. God bless.